that you and I and you have discussed and you care about very much, as do all of us, Senator Cruz, is the number of threats that we've seen against members of Congress over the past several years. The Capitol Police reported over 4,100 threats against members of Congress in just the first 3 months of this year. That's on track to more than double the number of threats against members in all of 2020. The chief has said that he expects that the department and law enforcement partners will have to respond to 9,000 threats to members this year. Has the Capitol Police, Mr. Bolton, taken action since June to keep up with these serious threats, and are additional resources and personnel needed?
The department is doing a good job in keeping up with the threats. I think by having them open up a field office down in Florida is going to assist once that gets up and fully running. But they are taking steps. They have hired additional analysts. They have, like I said before, they have several in school, but there still needs to be additional folks hired and brought on board in the intelligence. So we still have a ways to go, but we are making improvements. We're taking our steps now.
And I think understandably you focused on because of January 6th, the intelligence piece of this, but there's more than that as well, of course, and that's the follow-up when there is active threats and the police protection and the like that we're very concerned about. I had, one smaller question. Your report raised broader concerns about the accuracy of department staffing records, and we've all talked about the problem with lack of staff, but the records. Do you agree that the department should maintain accurate records of any one on duty and where they are stationed?
Oh, yes. As we noted in our one of our last flash reports with the manpower issue we dealt with, that the department couldn't provide us records, whether it be recalls or the amount of folks they actually had at that time. So the concept that it was an all hands is dubious at best in a sense. They couldn't provide us with that kind of documentation. And it's also important to note, when it came time for deputizing some outside law enforcement, the department didn't have the proper records to document who was deputizing by whom, which could present an issue if that individual made a federal arrest and there was a local officer. Then the question of their legal authority for making that arrest could come into question if we can't prove that they were actually deputized.
Okay. Something to follow up on. In your report on command communications, you recommended that the department implement a policy requiring senior officials to rotate through various posts of the Capitol Police. I just am recalling when I was the DA, I did this a day at a time, but I would see line people at work and basically on the front line, and it gave me a much bigger sense of challenges and the like. So could you elaborate on that? And then I have one last question, Senator Blunt.
The department needs to develop a rotational policy. You can't have certain individuals who will spend their entire career in one unit, whether it's 23 years out of their 25 years in CERT, or even DPD.
So you're talking about senior managers rotating to be in charge of different units.
Whether it be the senior manager, also the rank and file officers, because what you want to do is you want to develop your officers, your individuals who are specially trained in either CERT or K-9 or have these other skills. You want them back in the field with those skills, so you get them promoted through the ranks into leadership positions, because then they also have that background and that knowledge and skills, and also allow your younger officers to come into those specialty skills without having to wait numerous years in order to become a CERT officer or K-9 or a DPD agent. That you start, what you want is a well-rounded police department. And if you don't have a rotational policy, you're not going to get there.
Okay. Just a yes or no question. We know there's so much more work to do, but do you believe that the department is better prepared than they were on January 6th?
Keeping it simple, yes.
Okay. I want to thank you so much, Inspector General. Senator Blunt, you want to say any closing remarks? Or?
I've got just one or two questions.